Most people do a lot of talking and most people don't put in the effort. There's nothing you can't accomplish in life with the right amount of work. The challenge is, are you willing to do the work? And the reality is most people aren't, but that's the opportunity, right? It's like people at school. Most people are lazy, right? They barely get through it, and so that creates opportunity. I tell my kids that A, if they want something, they're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah.
And B, if they don't work hard enough to earn it, I'm gonna sell them off as medical experiments. That's the line in our house, right? I'm gonna sell you off as medical experiments. You need money? Okay, we'll sell you off as a medical experiment. We can get you money that way. I'll go give blood. Dad, I'm 7. I don't care.
The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill, right? I will run.
You would not be outworked.
I will not be outworked.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be sexier than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple, right? So let's go back to the question about what if people block me out. It's going to be 2 options. I'm going to get back in, or I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you're not going to outwork me. It's such a simple, basic concept. It's the guy who is willing to hustle the most is going to be the guy that just gets that loose ball. He got 2. Ooh, God, he grabbed that one. That was going to be out of bounds, but he saved it back in. It's like the commodity that I see the majority of people who aren't getting the places they want or aren't achieving the things that they want in this business is strictly based on hustle. It's strictly based on being outworked. It's strictly based on missing crucial opportunities. I say all the time, if you...
A long way. The one moment that stands out of, we've done, I don't know how many we've done, what, 800 events. Mm-hmm. The one time was 4 a.m. We went out to practice at 4 a.m. And that was your idea to do it. But then, all these Nike people are like, no, let's not do that. And then you're like, let's do it at 4 a.m. So you got security, you got brand marketing, sports marketing going, no, let's not do it. You're like, let's do it. Because that's your sustenance. Right?
To me, it just makes complete sense.
Not to us.
But I don't, like, okay, so.
See, all right. Usually, I'm sleeping at 4 a.m. You're working out. So talk about that.
Okay, so if your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, mm-hmm. right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions, right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because they're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
Is that genetic? Or is that something you ingrained and trained yourself?
No, it was
Who taught you that?
For me, it was just common sense. Like I can if I start earlier, I can train more hours. And I know the other guys aren't doing it because I know what their training schedule is. Right? So I know if I do this consistently over time, the gap's just going to widen and widen and widen and widen and widen, and they won't be able to get that back. So to me, it was just common sense. I'm like thinking, how can I get an advantage? Oh, start earlier. Yeah, let's do that.
How do you develop that, or where do you learn that from?
Well, I think it's just it's just a matter of what's important to you, and what's important to you for whatever reason. I felt like I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. Right? So the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be. And so that's where it comes from for me. You can't leave any stone unturned.
Training and some sort of physical activity becomes my anchor every day. Try and stay focused. For me, I got to get up at 3:45 in the morning. I do my cardio. I'll have my breakfast. Then I'll go train and hit the iron. Then I'll go to set. And if I could get those things done before I go to set, then I could work for the next 12, 14, 16 hours.
All right, empty gym, the way we like it. It's Sunday. Just finished my warm-up. It is family day. It's Lord's Day. It is also...
4 left, come on. One more, come on. Oh, good.
Focus! All right, workout number 2. I'm out working all my competition. All right, empty gym. The way we like it. Getting ready to get after it. Me and my favorite training partner. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home.
Denzel did a show called When Chickens Came Home to Roost by Lawrence Holder, right? He would walk on stage and the audience would, because it was like he played Malcolm X, and people thought Malcolm X had come back to life, right? And then
at the New Federal
Theater. And the brother at the Schomburg said, "Hey man, Denzel would be in here, man, looking at these clips, man.
Right.
Needed all this stuff, and he had to have the right glasses on.
Right.
And he got to walk down.
Right.
You got to walk down." And so what I discovered in those early years is no one worked harder on the stage to find his character than Denzel. And then when he transferred it to the film, it might be actors out there who claim, but no one works harder.
Now, when you say that hardest working actor there, and you were researching Malcolm X, I mean, you went and you studied films,
Yeah, look at all the footage you could get, all of his albums.
Yeah.
You know, I would listen to. In fact, by the time we did the movie, Spike would just like load the camera up and I'd just start talking because I could just pull from things I'd learned and memorized and knew. You know, you could talk about the table. That's a black table. You know, you could do anything. You could just improvise. So I just go and go and go.
I think what I could attribute my successes to is more the fact that I was confident I could train myself to absorb or tolerate very high levels of pain to outwork other people to win in sports like wrestling, which is all pain, right? And so I chose arenas in which I felt like even if I lacked the technical gifts, even if I lacked certain coaching advantages, that I could still win because I could just outlast other people. And I enjoyed being an instrument of competition.
How much?
And I still do. I mean, I love competing. I'm better in competition than I am in rehearsal. Right?
I understand.
Yeah, it's really weird, but that's just me. I feed off
the
of it.
choice you have as an underdog is, if you're going to choose to fight and choose to fight to win, there are a series of strategies available to you, but they are all more costly than the strategies available to the favorite. So I give the example of a chapter about a software mogul in Silicon Valley, an Indian guy who coaches his 12-year-old daughter's basketball team. And they are without talent. They are, by his own admission, this was like, they barely knew how to play the game. And he takes them all the way to the national championships. He does it he instructs them, they're going to play the full court press every minute of every game and defend every inch of the court, right? Now, That's actually a very effective strategy, particularly in age class basketball. If you're the underdog, it's usually your only chance of winning is to play a really, really aggressive defense. It requires, however, that everyone in your team expend maximum effort every minute of the game. You cannot loaf for an instant. You have to be in really good shape and you have to run yourself ragged and you cannot let up. Most people will not play that way because it's too difficult. If I said to you, we're not going to be doing elegantly designed plays and shooting gorgeous baskets and passing the ball, we're just going to be doing this for the entire game, and you're going to be exhausted at the end. Most kids would say, that's not why I signed up. So it's like, that's a kind of classic illustration of that effort is the route, one of the routes available to the underdog. I can outwork you, even if I may not be able to outspend you, but I can outwork you. Well, outworking is a tall order. It's not easy to do, you know. That's, as anyone who has worked in a startup knows, that's one of the stressful parts of it. But successful startups, I've never seen any actual data on this, but do we think that people working for successful startups work longer hours than people who work for Fortune 500 companies? My guess is yes.
When I used to do seminars on how to become a champion, I would always ask people, why do you want to be a champion? Or what do you want to accomplish? Why are you training? And they will, if a guy will get up and he will say, well, I want to train because I think that if I get muscular and, you know, I feel like I'm getting the kind of definition, then I maybe can enter a bodybuilding competition. I said, sit down. I said, if you think this way, you're going to be a loser. You're never going to make it because there's no maybe. You got to get up and say, I want to be a champion. And I do whatever it takes. The amount of hours it takes, the posing, the this, the that, the visualization, looking at training footage, looking at motivational books, reading this, reading, whatever it takes, I would do. That's the answer I want to hear from you. You can detect right away those that are going to be shaky and that will fall behind and they will not go all the way, and those that are very hungry. And that hunger you have to develop because you have to create a goal for yourself, whatever that may be, a short-term goal and a long-term goal, and you got to go after that. And if you do not see it, and if you do not believe it, who else will?
Experiencing pain in your muscles and aching and just then go on and go on and then go on. And this last 2 or 3 or 4 repetitions, that's what makes actually the muscle then grow. And that divides then one from a champion and one from not being a champion. If you can go through this pain barrier, you make it to be a champion. If you can't go through, forget it. And that's where most people lack, is on this having the guts to go in and just say, I go through and I don't care what happens. You know, it aches, and if I fall down, I have no fear of fainting in a gym because I know it could happen. I threw up many times while I was working out, but it doesn't matter because it's all worth it.
I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.